Hi guys, welcome to this review video on Buffered Reader. I think I went a little too quickly with some of the concepts, so I decided that I'll make another video just to go over everything, see if you guys understood it or not, and from then on I'll proceed with something different. So, Buffered Reader. Now, I know I went over this a little too fast, and I apologize for that. But I'm hoping this video will clear a few things out, any doubts that anyone has. So what is buffered reader exactly? Well, buffered reader is a class that is already written for you in Java to make your life as a programmer easier. So it's already written, it's predefined in Java, and it's in a package called the IO package. A package is nothing but the project that you create in BlueJ. Even that's a package, so it's in the IO package. So when you're using or when you want to utilize something from somewhere else, let's say let's take a real life example. Let's say I want to I want to use the phone at a PCO. So I have to tell the guy that I'll pay you so much money if you let me use the PCO or something like that. So in Java it's a little different. You don't have to pay any money. You just have to inform or notify the, well, in this case the IO package, kind of like. So that's why you say import java dot io dot star. It's because, and you just write Java here because, well, all the packages are predefined in Java. I actually don't know why you write Java there, but that's sort of the convention. So in Java, and there's the IO package, and this star imports all the classes. There must be more classes in the IO package. It's not written just for one class. So star just imports all the classes of the IO package. So that's the import statement. Then you write your class definition. That's normal. Then in the function there's a little difference. Let me do this. Yeah, you write your function as public void main throws IO exception. And I know a lot of you guys will open your textbooks and y'all will see stuff like public static void main string bracket args. um, what I'd like to say about that at this point of time is, it won't make much sense to you if I try to explain it now. Maybe the only thing I will explain is static. Leave the string args part for later, just trust me. You guys don't need it. It's not necessary to write string args if you're programming in BlueJ. If you're programming in core Java, it is. By core Java I mean just normal Java, not in BlueJ. So you can leave out the string args. Don't worry about that right now. Now this throws IO exception. What does this mean? Now what throws IO exception means is, when you're running this program, in the course of running your program that has your buffer reader, if you have any error with the IO, which is input or output, any error with the input output at runtime will be stored as an IO exception. And if there is any IO exception, the program will throw it away. It won't utilize it as such. That's the best way I can explain IO exception to you. I I don't think there's any other way I can make sense out of IO exception. It's just how you just have to remember that IO exception is a kind of an exception, a error that comes at runtime. It might come. So to give a precautionary measure, you put the word throws. And that's about it for the function definition. Now let's proceed down. After that, what we normally do is we create an object for the buffer reader class. Buffer reader, mind you, there's no spaces between buffered and reader. Br can be anything, equals new buffered reader, whatever, blah blah blah, new input stream reader, blah blah. Now what's the significance of new? The new keyword in Java, it helps you to create a new instance of a class, and an instance of a class is an object. So new just helps you to create a new object of this class, and the object is called br can be anything, can be bor, whatever. I don't know why I wrote boor, doesn't make sense. Br can be buff read, whatever you want, doesn't matter. So now this is how you create an object for any class. If you had to create an object for your own class, suppose your class was called class actor, and you wanted to create an object called let's say, I don't know, called Charlie Sheen. So it would be actor Charlie Sheen equals new actor. That's how you do it. So that's that for creating objects. And after that, the last part of buffer reader is, well, calling this function br.readLine, which I hope you guys have got. This is not the toughest part of it, but when I go into functions it will make more sense. So to call a function of a particular object, the syntax is object name dot function name. So if there was a function in the actor class called 2.5 men, you would call it by writing Charlie Sheen dot 2.5 men. That's just an example, don't take it too seriously. So yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so that's how you call a function. Now what readLine does is, readLine returns a value back in string data type, and when you use that integer dot parse int blah blah whatever dot, what you're doing is you're taking this string data type returned by br.readLine and converting it to integer. So integer. So what integer means is, well, integer is a wrapper class. It wraps up a primitive data type. A primitive data type, you remember, int, char, etc. etc. So this wraps up this data type. So that's just something I thought you should know. Not that important, but yeah, it is quite important. So I hope you guys have got the gist of things with buffered reader, and maybe in a later video I will get into another way of taking input which might seem easier to some of you. Now the last thing I had said I would explain was the static command. Now when you write public static void main, forget string args, just void main, what it means to say is, you can access this function, this main function can be accessed without creating an object of that class in which the main function is. Let me give you a better example with a proper class. Let's say class cars, public static void Ferrari. Okay, so let's say you have some function here and this is your class. Now you have another class, say class Shumi Schumacher, public static void main, and here you create an object of cars, call it cars f equals the new cars. So now since this is declared as static, this whole step can be sort of left out. So I'm just, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just scribbling on it. That step can be left out, and all you can do is you can write cars dot Ferrari and call this function, and whatever is here will get performed. So that's just static. I thought I'd explain it to you, and I guess that's about it for this video. I hope it helped you guys. So peace.